Babysitting! We've all been there. Either you babysat a tiny human, or you were the tiny human that needed to be babysat. I'm of course no exception of this, and man do I have stuff to say about it. Once my big sister babysat me, and by the time my dad came home, I was mad hungry because she had managed to burn my dinner. What? I can't help she's picky. You can just pick the burned part off. Pfft, what a wimp. Please feed me. Another time my babysitter left me in the car with a bag of chips while she and her boyfriend went into the nightclub. Good times. But that is not what this video is gonna be about. There was a time when my mom would go to the pub with her buddies on the weekends. Since she was alone and it's thankfully not socially acceptable to bring your kid to a club, she had to find someone who could look after me meanwhile. Coincidentally enough, her friend, who she clubbed with, had a teenage daughter who my mom thought would be perfect for the job. This would be Katie. Katie was a pretty stereotypical teenager, snappy, moody, and a bit of a troublemaker. She would regularly smoke and drink in secret, and had some issues with running away from home from time to time. But God did I love her. I really looked up to her. I thought she was the coolest person to have ever walked the earth. Not necessarily because of her bad traits. I was just a kid who basically adored anyone who would give me attention, and who I could see as a role model. The more I hung out with her, the more of her behaviors I found in myself. Kids have a habit of copying any attribute that their older peers have, which is a pretty important part of their development. But it sure wasn't good for me when I suddenly began to talk back to my parents and pretty much gave them hell for a while. Snotpup, for the last time, clean your room. Oh, you're like totally confusing me with a maid we don't have. Okay. During my visits at Katie's, we would mostly do normal kid stuff. Watch TV, eat snacks, and talk crap, you know, as you do. But sometimes it was painfully obvious how very different teenagers and kids are.
So my buddy Amanda is totally a dork. I mean, like, her hair looks like an ostrich butt. Her sense of fashion makes no sense, and I've heard she's a filthy bitch.
My friend once promised me he would trade my Growlithe for his Totodile, but he keeps forgetting to bring Totodiles to school. He's such a dum-dum.
Hashtag with friends for life.
But sometimes we did things that, looking back at it, made me sort of question if Katie was completely sane at all.
You can have anything you want from here. I don't use them anyway.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
You thief! Come back here and I'll show you what I think of thieves, you bitch!
Sure, I found it a little bit weird at first how her personality would make a U-turn, but I didn't really know how to handle it back then. I probably should have told my parents, but I really cared about Katie and I didn't want her to get in trouble because of me or make her mad at me. And a big part of me just thought that this was normal behavior, so I kind of just shrugged it off. We did have some nice moments together, so those things shine through, and I didn't know at the time that sometimes nice people can be mean. It was hard to find things that both of us liked to do, but I still looked forward to going there and be with her. Hey Katie! Katie! Hey Katie! Katie!
What?
Wanna play with my stuffed animals?
No.
How about play in the yard?
No.
Well, let's play with the cat. She'll have her babies any moment now.
No. Do you know what a knock a door run is?
What was I supposed to do again?
Oh, it's easy. You just knock on the door, and then you run away. Simple.
Won't that upset them though?
Well, of course it will. That's the fun part.
Katie, I just don't get it.
Do it!
Katie, no one's home, so let's just go back home before it gets... Wait, why are you running away? Ah! Katie, a little help here!
You're on your own, kid.
So which one's your house, kid? I think I'll have a chat with your parents.
That one? No. I think it's that one over there. Oh, I remember now. It's that one.
Okay, listen up, you little fuck. If I ever see you here again, you won't be getting off so easily.
Stealthy. Katie seemed to like to humiliate me in various ways. The knock-a-door situation just had her flabbing at the whole thing. She thought it was hilarious, while I was getting more and more convinced she didn't actually care about me. One time she had me wear her mom's work outfit. Another time she forced me to throw away my shoes into the forest and walk barefoot all the way around her town. My feet are cold.
Well, you should have thought about that before you grew feet.
The list goes on. But still, I kept quiet to my parents because I liked going there. Hey, Katie.
Want to meet this guy I'm texting? He's 50.
Katie had somehow gotten in contact with a middle-aged man who would say inappropriate things to her. She seemed to enjoy it, not being old enough to understand the dangers and consequences of this very, very harmful and potentially dangerous situation. And now we were gonna see him, in the middle of the night, outside, on an empty parking lot, far away from people. At this point, I was convinced that something was wrong. This didn't feel right at all, and I was getting very, very scared. But it was late, and I didn't want to be left in her house all alone, which was why I decided to go with her in the first place. We arrived at a parking lot of a closed shop. It was good that we hid behind a building, because when we looked around the corner, there he was. A tall man in a leather jacket. Katie, I'm scared. Can't we go back home, please?
No way. This guy's fun.
Can you at least walk me home first?
You're such a baby. Did you know that? Toughen up.
I'm gonna tell my mom!
Come on then.
We never met the guy, and we both stay home after it. And I never told my mom anyway. I don't remember why, but suddenly mine and her family stopped hanging out, so I never got to see her again. I really, really missed her. I still think about her from time to time, and I hope that she's doing well. I'm pretty sure she was having some personal problems that I was too young to understand back then. So I know she probably never meant to be mean, but probably just took out her frustrations on me. Katie was really sweet at times as well, and I prefer to focus on those memories rather than the bad ones when I'm looking back at those times. Oh well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Big thanks to Tabs who did an amazing job on voicing Katie for this video. You rock! Also, a big thanks to my buddy Acke, who's an amazing voice actor and who has lent me his voice in quite many of my videos now. Go check out his Instagram, he's also a very talented artist and animator. Have you ever had a weird babysitting experience? I'd love to hear your stories. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you next time.